Hey everyone, Steven, TheSalonGuy here. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got a really cool tutorial for you guys. Now this isn't inspired from any particular celebrity or athlete or musician, but it's a popular haircut that a lot of them are wearing. I know you guys like when I do step-by-step tutorials, so I'm going to break this down. The video might be a little bit longer. I want you guys to stay with me the whole time, but I'm really going to explain how to use clippers, scissor over comb, and really create a really modern, cool haircut for guys. So I'm ready to go. Let's get started. So let's get right into this haircut. What I like to do is usually I always work on dry hair when I'm using clippers, and I'm going to start in the bottom here and I'm going to work my way up, and I always do this throughout the back here, and then I go into the sides, but I always take the back on first, and I use the shortest guard into the bottom, and I always work my way shorter up to longer. So let's start with a number 2, and we're going to work from here to about right into here. So now I want to take this a little bit higher, and this previous haircut, I guess, had a number 2, so what I want to do is want to go up a little bit more, just like this. Okay, now we're done into here, and what that does is it creates a guide for us and tells us, okay, now we have to work to the next step, and then I'm going to use a 3.5. These are Oster blades, so the blades work from shorter up until longer. So now I'm using a 3.5, and we're going to work right into here. Now again, what I'm doing is I'm stopping where I want this length to go to, and that creates another ridge or another ledge right into there. So when you're cutting this, don't worry when you see that, because the way the guards work, it's going to blend it right out pretty much on its own. Alright, now we're pretty much good in through here. We're going to stop. And now I'm using my highest guard, which is a 3 3/4. Attach it on just like this. And now we're going to work up even higher. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking the comb and I'm pushing the hair into the blade that I get a better cut. And it also allows me to blend it pretty well at the same time. But I always do this just because, again, we're keeping that ridge, that line into here, which is actually acting as a guide for us. It's telling us, okay, this is where you need to work next. That's why I always do that. I always work shorter to longer. A lot of times, some barbers or hairstylists, they go from longer to shorter. Just for me, I have a harder time doing that. I'd rather manually take the lines out and work up the head shape just like in this manner right into here. So there we go. Now we're going to stop right into here. Now we're going to continue to work on this side. We're picking up with the number 2. Remember, that's what we used in the bottom. And you want to make sure we're matching down into here. You want to make sure that this length matches some part down into here. So we're not going to go too high, but we're just going to take this slightly right around the ear, just like this. And we're just going to extend this just a little bit right into here on this side. Next, we're going to jump to our next blade, which is a 3.5. And now we're again following the same pattern. Now we're working up the sides just like this. If you need to, you can use the comb to press down. But as you can see here, what we're doing is we're now continuing and following a nice pattern that actually matches with the back, just like this. You want to keep that very consistent. Now we're done with this guard, and then we can use, once again, the highest guard, which is a 3 3/4. And now is when we can really take this up right into here and connect this all to one length, just like this. Okay, working it up this way, and now we're matching. And remember, we have to do this on the other side, so make sure to keep everything balanced. But again, see what I'm doing? As I'm pushing the hair down into the clippers, which is allowing for a nice blend, but it's also keeping things nice and consistent as well. Constantly moving the clipper like this. You want to always move the clipper. You don't want to keep things still or just kind of stop and hold it. You want to always be moving. Always be moving. So this side's done now. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side, and then we're going to come in and start to work scissor over comb. Now that the clipper part of this is done, we're ready to move in through scissor over comb. And as you can see, what we have here is we have a little bit of, a line right in through here. And now we have to get rid of that line, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start to work into the back, and we're going to lift our comb up, and we're going to kind of work it in from where this part left off as far as the length goes. And now what we're going to do is we're going to work straight up, and we're working the thumb mostly into here. I know it takes a while to practice this, but as you can see what this is doing, it's creating a nice soft blend. And this is the best way to get rid of these lines. It grows out more natural, and it really adds a nice touch to the whole thing. So what we're going to do is continue to work in through the sides, the back, and up to about where it's long enough to then take it by hand and start holding it out from the head. You always want to work around the head shape, so you want to constantly keep moving. You don't ever want to stop. You just want to constantly, even if you kind of go back over something, it's okay. But the best thing to do is to always constantly keep moving. So the scissor and the comb are pretty much acting as one. See how the comb and the shears are working together just like that? That's key to creating good scissor over comb techniques and for keeping really, really good blending. Now I'm going back over this way, just making sure. And sometimes the lighting, you have to make sure you have good lighting too, because if the lighting's really dark, you're gonna miss something. Check from different angles like this. See, I'm coming around to the back here. You might see something that, oh, you need to go over that again. The best way to do these types of haircuts and to really, really show off your skills is to be very, very thorough. Okay, you can get this haircut in 10 minutes if you want, but a true, professional really gonna take their time and do all these small steps. Now, doing this yourself might not be the easiest, but this is definitely something that hopefully if you're a professional hairstylist and you're watching this, or if you wanted to show this to your stylist, that would be awesome and hopefully they'll appreciate it. But most people at this point should know how to do this, but if you don't, this is a great way to learn. You always have to constantly be learning and educating yourself. So as you can see now, we're working into the sides, doing the same exact thing. Turn the head a little more this way. And now we're working up the head shape like this. Again, you notice I haven't even sprayed the hair at all. It's completely dry still. And I know I'm talking more than usual in this video, but I wanted to do a step-by-step, and it seems like a lot of my step-by-step, really thorough, in-depth videos are quite popular. So I like to do a mix of videos. So now again, here we go, working it in. And we're going to basically work up until the corner part right into here, which is where we can then take it with our hands and pull out this way. But again, now I'm looking into the front. You can also comb it down this way, all right? Comb it in the opposite direction. See, I'm combing towards the face this way because sometimes hair grows differently and it might jump out at you a different way when you comb it, and that's actually what you want. You want to make sure that you're seeing the hair coming out from the head in a variety of different lengths and different growth patterns. So always be checking, always be looking, just take a step back, and make sure everything has a nice blend. So work to about right into here, do the same thing on the other side, and when we come back, we'll then start to work into the top using our hands and shears. Now we're ready to work in through this part and this part. So what I'd like to do now, and you can follow along, I'm going right down the middle, and what I'm doing is I'm now cutting with the round of the head. And since we already blended this in, now the easy part is just connecting, working upwards. And what we're going to do is follow the head shape. So keep working with me, and we're taking this section by section like this, but we're going to stop once we hit the corner in through here. So now we're going to come back, pick up where we left off from the center, and now we're working this way, combing it straight out, and we're cutting it to where it's about probably, I'd say, 1 inch or so in length. And you'll be able to tell by seeing the guide right down through here and that's where you want to start cutting. And you're going to work it straight up just like that. And we're going to stop right into here. And don't be afraid to go back over, okay? Just like this. Again, a good haircut, you're very, very thorough. Very thorough, and that's what's going to make it last. And your client will appreciate it. So now we've got a nice blend in through here. Now we're going to extend it up even higher. So now we're right here. Here's where we left off. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut it straight up and straight across. Just like this. And we're following the head shape again. And what this does, it creates a nice blend where it rounds out the head and keeps everything well balanced. Now we're working back from the center to this side of the head. You don't want to go too short, because if you do, then you're going to create some steps and it's not going to have a nice blend. But now what we've done into here is we've connected this part right into here, which is very, very essential. So again, don't be afraid, take a step back, make sure everything's balanced, and most likely you will find something that you need to go over again. It's totally normal, even for myself, you know? And if you want to, do scissor over comb, just like this, and give it that extra touch that you think, you know, might blend this even more. So now that we have our established guide, let's turn the head this way. We're now going to work in through the top here, because again, what we've done, we've connected this. So we're going to take a section straight across like that. Now we're holding everything straight up from the head. And we're going to be able to see our guide underneath, which is what we just cut. Now we're going to take that piece from that. That's our guide. We can see it underneath. And we're going to cut straight across. So make sure you guys stick with me. Try not to fast forward this, because this is really key. We're cutting everything. Now we're going a little bit longer to where instead of an inch, I'd say it's 1.5 inches. And if you want to make it a little bit longer, you can over direct slightly back to the previous section to where you say you want it, 2 inches in the front. Here we are at the very, very front. Now, combing it straight back like this will over direct it. Combing it straight down like this, it will be a lot more accurate, and you might cut a little more off. So I would say just pull it straight up, just like this. It's better to have a little bit of length into the front than cutting it too short. Okay, there we go. Now notice my elbow here is parallel. I'm not dropping it down like this. I'm not holding it too high. It's pretty straight, pretty even with everything else. Now, the whole top here is finished, but we still have to connect the sides, so stick with me. Here we go. We're pulling it out from the head just like that. We're pretty much free in the clear now, and this is the home stretch. And you see how fast we do this? All we're doing is pulling it straight out. You can continue to work it down a little bit, just like that. You might see a couple little hairs. That's what needs to come off. Any little hairs you see that might not be balanced or might need to come off, then when in doubt, cut it out. That's what I always say. Don't be afraid to go back over it. Be very thorough. And there you can see you've got a nice style right into the front. But again, blending this all in is really the key to it. Now don't forget, we have the other side. So what you want to do is, because this is a mannequin head, which is Steve from hairartproducts.com, is probably the best mannequin out there. You can turn it towards you, but you want to change your body positioning, and now you're cutting, your chest is facing towards a client when you're on the opposite side. And this is the best way to keep your elbow consistent like we were on the other side. You want to try to match whatever your cutting position, because that can really affect the whole haircut. So once again, see, I'm being very thorough. I'm going over it. Any little pieces are coming off. I'm cutting this to where it's all balanced. And again, this is cutting the corners. Cutting the corners gives it that nice blend and that nice rounded shape. The very front, we're going to come back in a minute, but here I want to just go back in and I want to do some scissor over comb, and it's fine to do this. It's totally okay. This really adds a nice touch to the whole thing. This is your own personal touch. This is what really makes the haircut and makes it go the extra mile. All right, turn the head around on the other side, and as you can see, the front, we left a little bit of length there, which is fine, because then we can come back in and finish it up. But as you can see now, I'm just doing scissor over comb, and now I'm going all the way up, extending it right through at the very top here, and everything should be pretty much even. Now for the very front, what you want to do is just comb this straight down, and I would just chip into it just like this. You don't want to go too short, because once you do, it's going to be too short and it's not going to be well balanced. You can chip into the corners just like this, and you can chip into the front. But it's better, again, to have that length, because it might be too late if you cut it too short. So there we go, chipping into it like that. Then what you can do is you can come in this way, and you can just make sure it's all connected. Make sure it's not too long, and this will blend the top and the very front together. Hold it over this way, and there you have it. Okay. Now again, if you feel this is too long, that's totally up to you. Depends on the style you're looking for. You can come in like this. Oops, sorry about the elbow. You can come in just like this, and you can actually comb it towards you and just chip it just like that. Cut it just like this. Use the points of your shears and add some texture to it. I always like to do this last, because adding the texture to it really helps create the nice finished look. So now what I want to do is add some texture to the whole thing. Now I'm going to come in, I'm going to point cut just like this. Point cutting is essential. You can do some twists. And what I do is you want to close the shear on the way out like this, not chop into it and close, because you probably chop your fingers off or chop the scalp of your client or yourself. So we're closing the shears as we pull out. So this looks good to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blow dry it, and then we'll see where we're at. So for the blow dry, what we're going to do, we're just going to dry it, and we're going to shake our hands just like this on the top of the head, and we're going to blow dry this up in front. And I apologize for hearing the blow dryer, but I want you guys to see what I'm doing here, so let's do it. As you can see, I'm using my hands just like this. See? As I blow dry it, I'm using my hands to work the shape in. And that's key to this hairstyle. Is the blow, just like the scissors and the brush, the blow dryer in your hands should work together too. All right, let's take a look at what we have. Now, when a hairstyle or a haircut looks this good with no product in it, that means you did a great job. Guys, this is all from the haircut, all right? And you guys can do this too, and I hope you stuck with me through the whole thing. And look, see, has a nice blend throughout the back here, nice taper, and it works right in to the very front. And here's the top right into here, gave it that texture. And whatever you put into your haircuts, that is exactly what you're gonna get out of it. Now let's add some styling product to it. All right, guys, so what I'm using is American Crew Fiber. This is a pliable fiber with high hold and low shine, which is good because the low shine means it's gonna have a very natural, lived-in look, which I like. So this is great for styles that you want that kind of matte finish. So you're working the product in just like this. Now, depending on how you wanna wear it is how you style it. I always like to work the product in right to the front here, just like this. And then I start to work it in to the sides, and then throughout the top, and then throughout the back. Now you can do so many styles with this. Even though it's short, believe it or not, you can do a ton of different looks. So you can kind of mat this down this way, and you can bring it over like this if you want, kind of like a side, almost like a side part. You can do a faux hawk, just like this, which I think this style is probably gonna work best with. You know, and a lot of people are going to be asking me, what do you call this hairstyle? Just say, you know, this is kind of like a faux hawk, you know, a blended in type faux hawk. I mean, it really is just, you know, 2.5 inches throughout the top of the head, has some nice texture to it, and you can just style it in a variety of different ways. That's the key to this whole thing. So here we go. Here's the style, which I think looks really nice from the side here. And the product really makes everything. Don't forget, you know, the haircut is one thing, but it's the style that really finishes the whole thing off. Here we go on this side into here. As you can see, it's got a really nice look to it, really nice texture, and has a great flow. Working throughout the back here, there you can see. And this haircut will grow out looking really good, and you or your client will be very, very happy. Alright guys, well I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Again, I know this was a little bit longer, and I hope you guys watched this throughout the whole thing. And if you need to go back and watch it again, go ahead. This is Steve from hairartproducts.com. He's one of the best mannequins out there. You've seen him in a lot of my videos. Just go to their website. It's in the description below, and give them a call. You can ask for Ernesto, and he'll help you out. Tell him the Salon Guy sent you. Also, American Crew products. You can go to americancrew.com and learn more about the products and where to purchase them. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment, and to subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time for more tutorials with the Salon Guy. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. It really means a lot to me. Don't forget to like, leave comments, and also subscribe. So as you can see here, I've got celebrity interviews, I've got event coverage, and also more tutorials. So don't forget to subscribe and keep watching.